Welcome back to They Did What? Your source in its craziest, most entertaining stories where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, give you a story titled, Am I the a-hole for initiating divorce when I found out my wife lied about her number and learning it's over 100? Heard that right. And guys, this is about a guy who's been married for like 5 years or so and thought he knew his wife until, well, certain events led to him finding out he didn't know his wife. And still didn't know what was going on down in the Holy of Holies here. And appropriately is ending the marriage and kicking to the curb. And once again, guys, reminding you, Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, that's what we're in. We've been there 5 years since I started the channel, and we're still here. And probably the odds are we're going to continue being here for quite some time. And you find this out, you're certainly not the a-hole for ending the marriage. And you got to do your homework and do some serious vetting before you say I do. Now, it's a longer one, so I'm going to jump right into it. Says here, I've been with my soon-to-be ex for 5 years, married for 2, and we have a 1-year-old daughter. Up until this past weekend, we've had a great relationship, as in I didn't have any major complaints. Small things here and there, but any conflict we've had, we've always been able to have a calm discussion and work out our issues. Well, you're not going to have a marriage without disagreements or issues from time to time. That's just not realistic, particularly if you have a kid. I want to clarify that I have never expected to date or marry a virgin, considering the condition of the dating market. Nor do I have any specific number in mind for a deal breaker. That being said, in the early stages of dating, she brought up the topic of body count. She brought it up? What? I'm not saying that I wouldn't eventually have asked, but I never pressed her for that information. Well, then you're a fool. You should. Then again, it's not like you're going to get a truthful answer anyway. She willingly told me her body count was 12. You mean 12 times 9? Much lower than I expected. She's an attractive woman with a high SCX drive, but a high SCX drive doesn't mean sleeping around. Well, I beg to differ. I didn't question or emphasize it. I take most people at their word and let time shed on the lies. Looking back, that was a mistake. Anyway, my soon-to-be ex best friend, let's call her, my soon-to-be ex's best friend, let's call her Lauren, is a former colleague of mine. Lauren was the one who introduced me to my wife. At the time, we were all in the healthcare field, and all three of us were nurse practitioners. Oh boy, wife's a nurse, huh? Currently, only soon-to-be ex-wife has the same job title. The stereotypes, it's amazing. Lauren hit a major milestone recently and landed her dream job. What, OnlyFans content creator? Or more accurately put, Lauren saved up enough money to realistically go into business for herself in a field completely unrelated to healthcare. You mean OnlyFans? On Friday, we went out for drinks to celebrate and support Lauren amongst a handful of other people. This part is very important here. My soon-to-be ex and I do not drink. We're not sober, but we're both had a crazy drinking phase in college, and we're over alcohol. We both are also educated health nuts. We eat clean, work out regularly, and it's hard for us not to see what alcohol really is, which is poison. Hey, I agree. On Friday, it would be the first time either of us remotely got tipsy together, let alone drunk. It's not that we won't drink, it's just it is not appealing. We'll drink on special occasions, and that's not a guarantee. For the duration of the relationship, the handful of times we've had alcoholic drinks, it was separately and far and few between. It was planned that way, but we primarily have different friend groups. Okay, you don't drink much and you're health nuts. I got no problem with that. On this celebration, we said screw it and let the drinks flow. It's abundantly obvious our alcohol tolerance no longer exists. We're getting toasted. Lauren is getting toasted, and so is everybody else in the group. But it's a good time, we're not hurting anyway, and we're having fun. Look, I know alcohol's junk, but I enjoy a beer or two every now and again, and when I do it right. I like a fucking 19% strong IPA. I got a buddy, he has like I forget what he drinks, but it's very low alcohol percentage, and he'll just, one beer after the other, he'll be like on his third beer by the time I finish my first IPA. I gave one of my IPAs once, I thought he was going to pass out. Lauren and my soon-to-be ex got to talking about their crazy times in college. I failed to mention they met in college. I didn't hear every single detail as their conversation was between them, but I heard enough to know hookups were consistent and not outliers. What happened to her number 12? She had multiple group play experiences, and what made me really want to throw up is that my wife engaged in pay-for-play. If we're not sugarcoating, then prostitution. 12 is her number. And now all of a sudden, group activities and pay-for-play. This is why you don't take somebody at their word. This is why everybody needs a private investigator. I need to start my own private investigating business. I'll make out like a bandit. I could have a private investigating operation in every state. Every city in every state. There's the demand for it. I just got to make people aware that there's a demand for it. It'll be a franchise. Listening to their stories, dots didn't need to be connected to come to the conclusion her number was way over number 12. Obviously, I'm in a bad mood, and I still am, but I continue to save face because I don't want to ruin Lauren's celebration. The train of thought at the time was I like Lauren, her friends, and her boyfriend. I would feel incredibly guilty for ruining their night. As I write this, I'm not sure how I feel about Lauren. It's not her job to tell me these things about my wife, but she did introduce us, and she knew my false interpretation of my wife. They were best friends, so her loyalty would be with my soon-to-be ex, opposed to me. But now that I think about it, I don't think I continue being friends with her. The hell with that, I wouldn't be friends with Lauren. She knew darn well who your wife was, and she let you believe that. She probably put you two together because she thought you'd be the good guy, the safe guy, the guy that she settles with. I'm sure this guy is a cool dude, has good qualities, but you get my point. I digress. As the night ended and we're all going our separate ways, I used this opportunity to question my wife. Not in a pressing manner, but as a happy drunk inquiring. I don't know, I'd be a little more pressing if it were me. My wife is out of it, mentally, and loose-lipped. Oh, those lips are loose all right, but we're talking about different lips here. She was the majority of the night. I bring up the stories, but at surface level. After keeping the conversation light and fun, I asked her about her body count as casually as possibly, considering the context. I didn't have to yank it out of her. Interesting choice of words, because a lot was yanked out of her. And to keep it short, she didn't give or know the exact number, but she admitted that the number was more than 100. Oh, well, as long as it's 100, we're good here. She doesn't know. You know it's fucking bad when you don't know. And I want to point out, is it 100 with pure, 100% hooking up? Or is there a number that exceeds that when, the people didn't go all the way, but, objects were inserted in mouths and stuff like that. When the Uber arrived, she passed out on the way home. I made sure she got home through the door, settled, and booked an Uber to my brother's house, which is 30 minutes from us. My brother was babysitting our daughter for the night. He has one of those doors that doesn't require a physical key, but a numeric passcode to unlock the door. Prior to showing up, I texted him letting him know I'm passed out on his couch. I'm welcome almost any time, but the heads-up text was a safety precaution. It was late, and we love our guns here in Texas. Yeah, and we do in Florida, too. In the morning, fighting a massive hangover, I caught my brother up to speed, and he had two things to say. The first is that she strategically lied and manipulated me to alter my perception of her in order to gain an outcome in her favor. This was a conclusion I came to on my own, not just as I well laid out as he presented it. The second thing he said was, I only partially thought of. He brought it to my attention that she's that calculating and manipulative. What else is she lying about? Well, at this point, does it really matter? It's over. But, no. I missed something here. And even I missed things. What else is she lying about? I don't know. Is the daughter his? I don't know. Was she born a man? That'd be a big surprise. Again, I came up with the thought as well. This is why I no longer consider her trustworthy. But what he said next didn't cross my mind. Tell me that, being said, he highly encourages me to get a DNA test for my daughter, since my wife is willing to lie about fundamental concepts, and her word can't be taken at face value. Now let's take a moment here to remember this guy, I'm assuming, is in love with up until this moment was in love with his wife. So now he's finding out that she was, quite literally a WHORE who was paid for her services. That's heartbreaking, and is a liar and a manipulator, and now the possibility that the daughter isn't his. I mean, this guy's having a bad fucking day. It's terrible. And this is why, private investigators. In that moment, I felt sick. Well, sicker. With that thought and the amount of alcohol I had the night before, I literally threw up all over his floor. To speed the story up, I took my daughter home and confronted my wife. She confessed to lying about her number and apologized profusely, and laid out the waterworks. Of course she did. I expressed anger and hurt, but I haven't mentioned divorce or a paternity test. Yeah, well, she knows it's coming. Divorce will inevitably happen. I'm planning to begin searching for a lawyer this upcoming Monday, and to schedule a meeting ASAP. I'll also get a paternity test for my daughter to verify if she is indeed mine ASAP. I haven't relayed any of this to my soon-to-be ex. Good, keep her in the dark. Let her scramble, but your ex isn't dumb, and I'm sure she's preparing for things as well. The way I see it, the smartest move is to contact a lawyer first. Find out the results of the paternity test, and then follow my lawyer says as you wait for it and receive the results of the test. Get a good lawyer and listen to your lawyer. And if you can get a female lawyer who's a shark, take that too. I have no idea how long this will take. I'm no law expert. I've never been divorced, nor do I have anyone close to me that has been divorced. Well, that's rare. I'm going to stay in my lane and be patient for my lawyer's advice, and to get the paternity results, as that will play a huge role on future involvement from when the divorce is initiated and finalized. I talked to my mom today about this, and she's adamantly against my plan. Really, Mom? Really? My wife's a liar, 100 dudes, did services for money, all that, and the kid made up my mind. You're against my plans? No Christmas card for you. Forever. And not seeing each other. She won't interfere, but she's biased. My daughter is her only grandchild. Positive or negative results, my mom will see her as her grandchild. But she knows that I don't share the same viewpoint. She didn't directly call me an a-hole, but she did everything but that. So I'm asking Reddit, am I the a-hole for planning to divorce my wife when I found out she lied about her body count and slept with over 100 dudes? No, you're not the a-hole. But obviously he's so worn down, he's beginning to question that. You have every right. If you had some major things, like not necessarily the same things, but something that would be impactful to her, she'd have a right to divorce you too. And of course, you have the right to test your daughter, for goodness sake. Now the update. He says here, I'll start with the biggest update. I took a paternity test, and the results conclude I'm not the father. Oh my God, this poor bastard. And also, the girl. It's not her fault. And so anybody says that, and this proves the people say out there that a past doesn't matter. That your girlfriend or wife could have been doing all this, but once she made a commitment to you, then her past shouldn't matter. Well, bullshit. Hear about a thing called pair bonding? Because if she has that much of an insatiable appetite for dick, it's going to continue. Hence, well, this daughter is not his. They've been married 2 years, and the daughter's, I think, 1 year old. Still, she was cheating. This was obviously devastating for me, especially since I've been processing this alone. I haven't told anyone, not even my brother, who is the person I typically confide in. I'm just not ready to have a in-face conversation about this with anyone. I generally don't have the words to explain the emotional roller coaster that info is for me. Dude, it's your life. Take your time. But now, divorce her. Now that I know I'm not the father, I'll answer the question that was commonly asked of me, which is what I will do if the results came back that I'm not the father. I made the decision to not raise her. Paternity matters to me, and my personality is very black and white. She's not mine, and I can't spend my life playing pretend. The only comfort I have from this is that she won't remember me. She's too young, meaning she doesn't have any long-term memories. Well, that's one silver lining there. Now you got to get off the birth certificate. This is going to be a mess. As for the divorce papers, they haven't been served. My soon-to-be ex knows there's a rift in our relationship, but she doesn't know divorce is coming. Nor is she aware of the paternity results. She'll find out the same day when the divorce papers are delivered. Well, you had the 24 hours from hell finding out all this stuff. Now it's her turn. Luckily for me, she has virtually zero chance of squeezing alimony out of me. Never say never, dude. The combination of the duration of our marriage, a prenup, and her earnings, she won't get a dime from me. Getting money out the birth certificate and all the legal BS that comes with that might be a different story. But I'll just have to see how the deck falls. Regardless, I won't be a parent even if I'm forced into child support. Well, he shouldn't. And I'm glad at least the child's 1 year old, so the child's not going to remember him. And yeah, I mean, the kid's going to cry now, but fortunately he'll be blacked out. Find out, like the wife knows who the real dad is. As for the current state of my relationship, my wife admitted that she intentionally deceived me in regards to her lying about her body count. This was early on, and she knew next to nothing about me, what I thought about the subject, and how to react. Come on, she knew, really? She said she didn't know how you'd react. You don't think any guy would not want to hear that his girl had that many dudes or sold her services? Really? Bullshit. All she knew is that she liked me and she really wanted to see if we could become something. I know for a lot of people, they would take that answer as valid excuse for lying. I just see it as pathetic. She is pathetic. Frankly, I don't know how she can walk, given her college activities. She'd have to float around a flotation device like that cartoon movie WALL-E. There's been a lot of crying and begging on her part for me to have a meaningful conversation with her. Of course the waterworks come out. I'm just not interested. She's dead to me. I don't care who she cheated with, for how long, for how many. I don't care what other lies she's told me during our relationship. Well, I'm sure there are plenty. I don't care if she's genuinely remorseful or she's putting on a show. All I know is I'm ready to be separated from both legally and physically. You have a right to be. And don't let your mom manipulate you. One thing I'm really struggling with is whether or not I want to nuke her life. One big thing I can do is get her fired and make finding work extremely difficult for her. Her job means everything to her. Again, what, OnlyFans? Well, don't do that until you're divorced, because otherwise she's out of work and then you're paying her more alimony. Just wait. When we started getting serious and we're discussing marriage, I told her we can either be traditional or modern, but we're not combining different aspects of both. So we split everything 50-50, have our own bank account, and one account together for bills. Good. Good. Your own, guys, you got to have that. I'm telling you, if you don't do that now, change things. Your bank account for you, your paycheck or business profits go into, your own brokerage account in your name, credit cards in your name only, and the same thing for her. And you have a joint account that you put things into every month to pay the bills. That's it, nothing more. I can't stress that enough. Because if they put all their money into one account, boom, she could drain that thing dry. I can destroy a reputation socially without it being considered defamation. I'm an emotional anchor for her. I can use that to my advantage. And if I'm being honest here, the only reason I'm contemplating restraint is that she's going to be a single mom soon, and that's going to be a huge adjustment for her. The better mental and financial shape soon-to-be ex is in, the better position she'll be in to provide a stable life for her daughter. That's the thing. The kid has gone through enough, and, he can torpedo her life and their career, but, obviously this is an innocent kid. He wants the kid to be raised okay, not have to want it for money. But then again, this woman's pretty, which I'm sure she is. She'll have no problem finding a sucker to latch on to and provide. I would wake up in the middle of the night to bottle feed her, soon to be ex and breastfeed, and I was just overall enthusiastic parent. I was happy to do anything and everything. How could I not? I had a 50% me human that I got to watch grow up. I didn't want to miss a second. That's the stuff that kills me any more than anything. Anyway, that's what I have for now. If I do a second update, I'll put more time and thought into it. I'm just blabbering away right now. Well, as far as I know, that was the end of it. So obviously, he's going through a mess right now. But that is unbelievable. Well, no, it is believable in today's world. But it's just sad. And I think he's just in so much shock. He's really not totally taking in how much his life is changing. The daughter that he watched was born, and he would get up and feed the bottle in the middle of the night and take care of. That's not his kid, and he's losing that. And the woman he married, who he thought he'd have a life with, all this. And he's got to feel like a total fool for not vetting her. And, well, maybe he was, but, well, okay, he was. You have to nowadays. But he's still young. He's in his early 30s. He has his whole life ahead of him. His prime's beginning. So take the hit, move on, get off that birth certificate, and then go from there. And learn your lesson about some serious vetting going forward. And again, this story just makes me really think, man, private investigator offices, every city across America, they're in demand. The problem is I got to get the public to know that they need their services. And that'll be the ultimate franchise for the 2020s and 2030s. But anyhow, there you go, guys. You can't make this shit up. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story to share, a crazy one, your own personal one, send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Whether it's a long one like this or a shorter one I can do on the other channel, Hit the Bricks. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.